Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another episode in my Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD tournament. So we've already seen Azrian Fox versus the Hunted, and Azrian came out victorious in that string of battles. And now we're looking at two other players. We've got CASSIUS versus GRIMGOR, and we've got the battles laid out before you here, so let's get to it. Alright guys, so welcome to the first battle between CASSIUS and GRIMGOR. We're looking at CASSIUS' army here first. He is playing as the Cuman Connaught. And in the front lines, he's got 4 units of these militia archers. And then right in behind and spread in a very long line, he has 10 units of heavy macemen, which are very, very cost-effective, as I said in the last episode when we watched Azrian versus the Hunted. And then he also has 2 units of these Kagan's Guardsmen. So a couple of spears on either flank. And then he has 2 units on this side and 1 on the other of these heavy Cossacks, which look very, very cool. So he has 3 units total. And then, of course, we can't forget the Master Horse Archer. And he is right there signaling his troops to move forwards against GRIMGOR's army. But that is everything for CASSIUS' army, so let's go ahead and take a look at GRIMGOR. He is playing as the Duchy of Lesser Poland. His army is kind of spread out in different sections of the battlefield. Over on this flank, he has 2 units of armed peasants, which are probably all going to die on the battlefield today. And then for his cavalry, he has the Great Banner of Krakow, followed by some of the Polish knights here. He has 1 on this side and 1 on the other side. And he has 3 units of the Halberdiers of the High Period. So they're scattered in and around his lines. He also has 2 units of Sergeants of the High Period. So very light on the melee infantry. But then we've got 2 units of Spear Sergeants of the High Period as well. And then for his archer force, he has 4 units of heavy crossbowmen, all focused over on this flank. And I think that is about everything. We've just got his general's bodyguard to look at. And it's the Polish king, and that's him right there again with the white cloak. And that is everything. So 7 minutes left in the battle, and it looks like the Cumans have been moving forwards. They haven't engaged yet, though, so we can go ahead and put this on play and see what happens. We've got some of these Kagan's Guardsmen moving forwards. However, they are not in spear wall, and they are getting picked apart by the 4 units of heavy crossbowmen from Lesser Poland. I'm pretty sure that all 4 are focusing the same unit, but they are on skirmish mode, so it looks like they are going to move away. Either that or GRIMGOR has noticed that they're moving closer. However, he's bringing forwards a unit of his Polish knights here against these Kagan's Guardsmen. I would not be charging into them. That is pretty brave to go against these really solid spears, although it looks like actually at the last second they turned around, so he may actually be able to break this very good unit of spears here. Their morale is dropping. They're down to less than half of their original strength. However, we've actually got CASSIUS over here getting a nice charge into the crossbows. Luckily, the Polish knights were here to kind of clamp the jaws down on that. But we've got some of the heavy macemen closing the gap as well to flank the flanker. And actually, we've got some of the crossbows breaking over here. And they have full ammo, so that is a big, big problem. Over on this side, it looks like GRIMGOR is pulling back a little bit. He doesn't really feel like engaging this massive line of macemen. It looks like he is going to try and intercept this unit, though, that was pushing forwards to take out his crossbows. So there we go. That should stop most of them. I'm not sure if the rest of the unit is going to come back, though. It looks like they're going to continue on. But yeah, looks like this left area of fighting is where the heaviest fighting is going on so far. Let's take a look and make sure we're not missing anything on the other flank. As far as the man count goes, it looks like CASSIUS definitely had more men. He had about 300 more men. However, it looks like CASSIUS is maintaining that and even extending that lead. He's actually got 400 more men now. And we've got the Halberdiers moving forwards, but ooh, some big hits there from the militia archers, and they're actually just going to pull back so that the archers can get some more shots off on these Halberdiers. even getting some shots in from the flanks. We've got another unit of halberdiers here that's formed up. But again, looks like Cassius is just going to withdraw from that fight. Well, actually, we've got some of the Cuman macemen here going in for a hit on the side of the halberdiers. The halberdiers are making this weird formation, though. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to form up effectively. Just checking to see what else is going on other sides of the battle. The crossbows did return from routing, which is good, and these crossbows are firing at the heavy macemen, which are formed up over there. They are not in shield wall either, so they could be getting some pretty good shots. But this battle is much underway at this point. Unfortunately, though, the Duchy of Lesser Poland, I think he spent most of his money on his cavalry, though. His infantry is lacking. He's only got 2 units of swords versus the 10 units of the Cuman macemen, or the heavy macemen. And what's going on over here? Okay, so it looks like Cassius is moving in on the right flank as well. I'm not sure if he's going to headlong charge into this unit of halberdiers, though, with the Cuman macemen. Nice. We even got some cavalry also coming into the side here, but getting caught up by the halberdiers. And it looks like the Polish knights have actually broken through behind enemy lines and have charged into the heavy macemen on this side. But, oh no, his general. Grimgor not watching his general here. It looks like the Polish king now in melee against the Kaghan's guardsmen. That is not good at all. And these armed peasants naturally are breaking. The halberdiers seem to be holding a little bit better, but in the face of overwhelming numbers like this, I don't think there's too much more that Grimgor is going to be able to do. His crossbows here, luckily it looks like they are safe for the time being, but in the center there's just a lot of Polish breaking. We've got some wavering on the sergeants due to the heavy Cossacks charging into their flank. Ooh, some big crossbow shots coming off there as well. Some crossbow bolts coming in, piercing the armor of the cavalry that's seated high above the infantry. Let's see how well that general is doing over here. It looks like he is trying to get him out, and only suffering a few losses. The armed peasants kind of trying to slow down these Kaghan's guardsmen here, but it's not really looking good for them. The halberdiers over here, though, slaughter these Cumans, and they're actually... Oh, they almost made it into melee to break this unit for good, but Cassius is aware of that, and he's pulling his Cumans back and out of the way. So, pretty good Eastern-style tactics here by Cassius, kind of attacking and withdrawing, using his archers very effectively, and there we go. It looks like the crossbows are being charged by some of the heavy Cossacks now. And, oh, but we got the general's bodyguard coming in to save, hopefully save the day here, and rout these heavy Cossacks and save his crossbows, because they have the potential to get a ton of kills in this game. But if you look over to the horizon there, we've got the Kaghan's guardsmen. They are exhausted, they're hanging their heads, and they've been chasing the general all the way across the battlefield, but it looks like they've finally caught up with him. Now, where is the Polish king? There he is, actually, right there in the center. And it looks like he is riding away. I'm not sure if he is breaking or not. Can turn on the HUD and find out. No, he is not. So he's just trying to peel off and actually go for some of Cassius's archers. Luckily, the Master Horse Archer here is ready to stop the charge. Never mind, he's not stopping the charge. He actually just pulled back. It's possible that the Master Horse Archer was on skirmish mode. So he naturally pulled away from the enemy general. But there's the king there in his white cloak. And looks like the heavy macemen are going to stop him from advancing. And he probably will die here, unfortunately. Not before getting some kills, though. Brave, brave Polish king. Oh, there we go. And just as the battle ended. So we've got a close victory, but a victory for Cassius. So Grimgor is down 1. So let's take a look at the results here. Yeah, the spear is really lacking on the kills. Most of the time I find that's pretty much the case in open battles like that. The spears are good for partnering with your cavalry to help give them the edge against enemy cavalry, but in a main line, unless you're going for very expensive Pavizzieri or even the Lancia Sergente that some of the Italian factions can get, these spear sergeants really not worth it. But his halberdier's doing pretty solid. The 2 units of swords not so much though, but his crossbow's getting a fair few kills, and the Banner of Krakow actually 217, which is really good. But all across the board, these macemen got a ton of kills. This one, 254, and he barely lost any of his unit. 93 from the general, and the Cossacks also getting some pretty good kills. So, yes, Cassius is up 1, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next battle. Alright, so Cassius is already up 1-0, and now we look at the second battle between Cassius and Grimgor. So if Grimgor loses this battle, he's eliminated from the tournament, and Cassius will move on to the second round. With that in mind, we're looking at Cassius's army first again. He is playing as the Principality of Antioch, and he's got a couple units of these Fratres Milites Templi that are kind of holed up in these trees here. I'm sure that they are hidden. He has 3 units of them. And then we've got a couple units of halberdiers coming over here as well. The dismounted Fratres Milites Templi. And I believe he has 4 of them, 2 on either side. And then he has 2 of these Nostorian infantry, which I actually have never seen anyone field before. But he does have some spears, which are present on the battlefield. They are just tier 1, but they still look pretty cool. And then in behind his main body, he's got 4 units of the Foot Turcopoles, which is a Turkish archer that is fighting for the Crusaders. And then he has, I think, 4 units of the Syriac swordsmen. I think it is 4. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he has 5 units, 1, 2, 3. 3 units of the Syriac swordsmen. Then he's actually got on the flanks 2 units of these, what are they called again? Antiochian Foot Knights, which is very cool. Again, hadn't really seen these units before, but I've got it set pretty low. 12k is for the first round of battles, so if you want to bring a full 20-stack army, then you kind of have to bring these lower tier units. But we've got the Prince of Antioch here in the battle as well, and he looks fantastic. Not even wearing a helmet, so he's got some balls, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at Grimgor's army over here. He is playing as the 2nd Bulgarian Tsardom, and he has 4 units of the heavy archers in the front lines. And then he's got more swords this time, which is good to see. So he's got, let's see, 2 units of Moldavian warriors, 1 unit of brigands. These guys are pretty cool. They're just basic light melee infantry. And then he's got 1 unit of heavy infantry. For his cavalry, he's got 3 units of these mercenary German knights. Gotta love the German knights. They're actually very expensive, too. I think they're 1,000 each. But they are tier 3 shock cavalry. He's got another unit of heavy infantry here, and another unit of heavy infantry. So he's got 3 heavy infantry, 1 unit of brigands, and 2 units of Moldavian warriors. And he's also bringing some halberdiers again. He's got the Bulgarian hooked spearmen. So they're kind of a mix between, I would say, billmen and halberdiers. But they are tier 1. And then his general is over here, the Boyars. And we saw him in the last battle as well. And there's some more of the German knights over on this side. So I think that is about everything. So let's go ahead and put this on play. Again, looks like Grimgor is taking a very open approach with his army as well. He's kind of got them spread out in different locations in the battle. He's got, on the battlefield, sorry, he's got his Moldavian warriors with his 4 archers kind of forming up a front line. However, if you look at Cassius's formation, he's got a much wider approach, which puts Grimgor susceptible to some envelopment. But I think that's why he's putting his cav over on the flanks here, and he's also pushing some of his halberders to the flank as well. The only thing is these 2 units of Moldavian warriors will not hold too long as a front line. They do have good missile block, though, which is nice to see, especially in the face of all these foot Turco-Poles. These are really deadly archers. If we look at the stats, missile damage is 74, and the rate of fire is 28, so very fast rate of fire and a very high damage as well. I think crossbows are 62 damage, so you can just see. Actually, can we check these heavy archers? Oh, the heavy archers also 74 damage, interesting, and rate of fire 28. So it looks like they're pretty close to the same in stats. Except the heavy archers actually are tier 2, so GRIMGOR actually may have the advantage here. We'll see what happens. But less than 10 minutes left in the battle, and they're still kind of just feeling each other out, seeing at what point they want to move in. But I think the German Knights will have the upper hand on the Fratres Milites Templi, just because they are tier 2. Looks like the archers are moving forwards in a column here. I would maybe try and spread these archers out a little bit. You can see that CASSIUS is bringing one of his units of cavalry over to this flank. Now, granted, GRIMGOR does have a unit of mercenary German Knights here, but if you spread your cavalry out wide enough, you can hit all 4 of these units at the same time. So this also makes them pretty susceptible to archer fire. It makes them an easier target to hit. But it looks like the heavy archers are moving back to the lines. And we've got some movement over here on the side. The shock cav looking to face down the mercenary German Knights, and you see CASSIUS has 2 units of his halberds over on this flank as well, and then 2 units over here. So he's using his halberds as an extra buff for his cavalry to help him win the engagement. Now, the only thing that can cancel that out is with GRIMGOR here. He's got some hooked spearmen that can also move in with his mercenary German Knights and kind of even things out. But then again, CASSIUS also has his Nestorian infantry on the flanks as well. So a lot of their forces are being focused to the flanks in an effort to win the cavalry engagement. And I don't know why I said it like that. Cavalry. There we go. But the archers are starting to open fire, so the battle has officially begun. Look how many archers this is, too. I could get them all into one screen. Screenshot. Come on, heavy archers, fire. There we go. Beautiful. Getting some good volleys. They're actually firing up over top of the hill. You can't really see much of the enemy. But we've got some of the Nestorian infantry moving in now, but we've got the mercenary German Knights actually pushing forwards. I don't think the spears are going to get into shield wall in time either. So let's see how those mercenary German Knights fared. I think that the Antioch cavalry is very close behind. Yes, it is. But, oh yeah, the heavy archers really hitting the Milites Templi hard. And the Nestorian infantry are shaken already. They're down to half strength. So well done by GRIMGOR on this flank. And look at this, he's going in right against the halberdiers. Bad move by CASSIUS here, actually having the halberdiers run into battle. Now, a lot of them may get up, but many of them also do not, and they're all kind of, they don't have a battle line formed now. They're all kind of mixed in throughout the cavalry. Now, the cavalry is getting quite depleted, but these dismounted Milites Templi are shaken from this engagement and from that just really deadly clash. And there we go, the heavy archers just finishing off what's left of the halberdiers. That is disgusting. That would suck. Apparently that's my trade quote. That would suck. Oh, I want to see another volley here. Oh, yes, and they're turned away, too. This is not going to be good for the heavy archer, for the halberdiers. Yeah, here comes the shots in. Oh, yes, just wrecking them. Are they broken? Surprisingly not broken yet. And, oh, okay, so we just missed a cavalry charge from the German knights over here. And as the Nestorian infantry are turning around, we've got another unit that's cycling through. And Cassius is a little slow to respond on this flank as well. His cavalry is a little bit too far away. And I think that these spears are going to be broken in time. Yes, they are. And GRIMGOR is pulling behind the safety of his Bulgarian hook spearmen. He also has his general over here to help out as well. But GRIMGOR is folding in his flank over here, which I think is pretty smart because he's actually doesn't have any cavalry over here on this flank anymore. But we've got to fight with some of the heavy infantry against the depleted spears with the very depleted halberds. And that is a battle that looks like GRIMGOR is winning. And this cavalry is actually kind of caught here. The halberdiers, unfortunately, are facing... That one was facing the wrong way, but this one is facing the right way, and wow. Losing a lot of his unit there to the Bulgarian hook spearmen. Milites Templi somehow still alive, though, which is pretty crazy. Getting some good rear charges into the main line, or the main body of Moldavian warriors. And here we go. Here comes the dismounted Milites Templi, or Milite Templi. But at the same time, we've got the hook spearmen moving in as well for Bulgaria. So with both of these players, it's really about focusing in on the flanks. There's not really, in both of the battles that I've seen, there's not really a lot of engaging from the center. It's more kind of just having a few units to discourage attacks and then firing with their archers into the enemy lines. However, we've got the general bodyguard, the boyars, going into the spears over here trying to break them. And well done from GRIMGOR over here also chasing into the foot Turkopoles and driving them away. This guy's gonna die. Yep, there we go. But we've also got the general here. The general should get a really nice charge into this unit of Moldavian warriors. They were pretty spread out as well, so they don't really have enough mass to soak up that impact. And here we go. Oh, let's put this in slow motion here. We've got some of the Fratre Milites Templi moving into the backs of the heavy archers over here. So it looks like they did get behind enemy lines, which is a big problem for GRIMGOR. And I think he's almost out of cavalry at this point. So Cassius is really using his cheaper cavalry along with his halberdiers to, you know, the best use. But GRIMGOR has reacted quickly. He's bringing back some of his hook spearmen to protect his heavy archers. The only problem is that this now this now exposes their back to the foot Turkopoles. But, oh, even that, they raise up their bills just in time to allow the Milites Templi to get a really decent charge off on them. Over here, it looks like the boyars are trying to get some cycle charges going, but the German knights are breaking, which is a big problem for GRIMGOR. 2 minutes left in the battle, and actually it's way into Cassius's favor here, so it looks like GRIMGOR may be losing this one here. Cassius only has a 200-man advantage, so it's not like it's completely over yet. He's also got this unit of heavy infantry over here that I'm not sure he realizes is over there, but I think Cassius does realize that, and he's going to go and try and get a nice charge into them. Let's take a look-see. He's going to try and get in behind, I'd imagine. It's only a unit of about 20 men, or 25 men. Okay, where are you guys going to? Oh, they're facing you, that's why. So I guess you're going to try and get around the flank, but we can't really follow that as much as I would like to because we've got the main battle line going now. And you can see the Moldavian warriors breaking to the Syriac swordsmen. We've got some of the hook spearmen trying to come into the mix, but they didn't get their bills down in time, unfortunately. However, it looks like we've got a tactical retreat here from the Syriac swordsmen, not wanting to engage the Bulgarian hook spearmen. I'm sure he'd rather fire at them with archers. Yeah, there we go. And that's the thing with these lower tier battles is archers can just rack up kills, especially on elite units like this. Brutal. Here we go. We've got some more of the Syriac swordsmen fighting the heavy infantry of Bulgaria. Oh, but it looks like the Principality of Antioch is victorious over on the right flank as well. You can see their halberds are moving. I'm sure they're going to be flanking around this heavy infantry very soon. And we've got some of the heavy archers in melee as well. Yeah, so it looks like this is going to be a victory for Cassius. He will be moving on to round 2. And it will be a defeat for GRIMGOR. Most of the archers just being chased down. Now, I think, yeah, there we go. I think that the general dying over here in the mix in this cavalry engagement was probably the final blow for morale. So let's go ahead and take a look at the results here. The Turkopol's getting massive amounts of kills. Couple of the units of the dismounted Templi getting some decent kills. 107 by the Prince of Antioch, really good there. Looking at GRIMGOR's forces, his archer is doing really solid. One of the German knights getting 95 kills, which is good. And even this unit of Moldavian warriors, 66 kills. That's not bad for a cheap infantry unit. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this battle between Cassius and GRIMGOR. There will be more to come within the following days. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And I will see you in the next one.